Welcome to the John Doe Radio Show. I am your host, John Doe. Today, January 18th. It is a Wednesday. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Wow, everything is loud as shiz right now. Hold on. I gotta pull that down. Pot this up. Insanity there. I'm looking at myself and I'm like, geez, man, that's crazy. Just peeking out the meter. It'll take me a week or two, probably still get used to this mamma jamma up in here. I'm probably going to have to rehook certain things, make sure that at certain volumes that the levels are a little bit more balanced on the headphone side of things. I don't know, it's weird. You can't hear when everything's turned up. You either have to turn me up insanely loud, or you have to turn everything up in the headphones insanely loud to be able to hear myself and anyone else and yada, yada, yada. Inside baseball. Thank you for hanging out with us. As I said, it is a Seedy Wednesday here on the John Doe Radio Show. We're going to be joined by Scott from Rare Dankness.com in just a few. He's on his way here to the studio. And we also have with us in studio, as always, usually. She wasn't here yesterday. We have Kim with us. We're going to talk with Kim a little bit about an article that was in Kush magazine about a situation with her health and why she was in Kush magazine, and probably read the article, talk with her about her situation a little bit, have some patient awareness. So thank you for sharing with us.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for sharing with Kush magazine.
Yes, sir.
And just all out generalness, awesomeness up in this placeness, running off of no sleep. This is just in case y'all wonder what the hell is going on.
But it's both of us today.
If there's randomness, yeah. If there's just randomness, me slow-mo and everything, that's what the deal is today. So no excuses.
Slow-moing and me not being able to keep up.
No excuses. I'm just trying to chill.
It's gonna be a good day.
Just trying to chillax. Big thanks to our sponsors. Big thanks to everyone that makes the show possible. Cannot thank you all enough for hanging out with us on the John Doe Radio Show live, Monday through Friday, johndoeradio.com/live. Make sure you please tell your friend. 11 o'clock is when we start. Mile High time. That's 10 o'clock Pacific. 1 o'clock Eastern. I had to think there for a second. I wanted to see. I told you I'm running off of no sleep. Anyway, thank you all for hanging out with us. Also, if you missed anything, you can also head to johndoeradio.com to download our podcasts, and you can head to iTunes. Just go to iTunes and search John Doe Radio, and you'll find us too. And you subscribe there. You can download it. It'll automatically download to your podcast, or the podcast. Jesus, the podcast will automatically download to your media player. I'm about to fall asleep and just run straight on autopilot here. Just bottom line, just straight kerplunk the autopilot. I'm serious. It's that good times. We should probably cover some news maybe here first. Big news yesterday coming out of California. I think that this is becoming to be an even bigger and bigger story, unfortunately. We've seen the California raids for a long time, and I don't know, some people might think that might just be something that's commonplace now, you know, like it's something that's the norm and supposed to happen. But I'd like to keep a reminder that it's not necessarily how the ways that we want it and the way that it needs to happen. So anyway, let me see if this sound will play here, and then if not, we'll just read you this.
Nobody should be surprised that we're out here doing these warrants. We gave everybody notice and we gave them time to get out.
Tonight, a new DEA raid on a local medical marijuana dispensary as a North County city votes hands down not to allow them. Good evening and thanks for joining us for the fourth time in less.
By the way, this is San Diego. Okay, freeze. Everything just locked up.
Than a week, the feds moved in on a local medical marijuana clinic, and they say there are more raids to come.
News 8's Richard Allen is live in Kearney Mesa with a look at how this issue is heating up. Richard. Well, that's right. The DEA today spent hours shutting down this medical marijuana dispensary behind me, carting away boxes of evidence, including marijuana, while outside medical pot advocates blasted this move, saying it is denying essential medicine to sick patients. But the feds say this is just the beginning.
From what we could tell, it looked like they were taking all the patient files, records, and just basically everything that they could confiscate.
For the fourth time in less than a week, the DEA raids another medical marijuana dispensary in San Diego County. This time, Green Tree Solutions on Claremont Mesa Boulevard.
We're taking evidence, we're taking marijuana, so we're taking evidence of sales.
All part of a coordinated effort by the federal government. Last fall, the U.S. Attorney's Office put these clinics and the building owners housing them on notice, informing them through letters they had 45 days to shut down.
These warrants that we're doing, the warrants that we did last week, the warrants that we're doing today, and the warrants that we're going to continue to do are all in response to that letter.
While Californians voted to legalize marijuana for medical purposes in 1996, it remains illegal on the federal level.
Based on the 10th Amendment, the federal law should not supersede state law on issues of health and safety. And this is clearly an issue of health.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Also on Tuesday, the city of Poway took a definitive stand on the issue, voting unanimously to permanently ban all medical marijuana dispensaries within its city limits.
These facilities have frequently attracted criminal conduct, including burglaries and robberies, as well as solicited the sales of non-medical marijuana and other illegal drugs and weapons.
As the federal government vows this crackdown on dispensaries already open for business has just begun.
We're going to continue to do these, and we'll be doing them until all the dispensaries in San Diego County are shut down.
Now, this federal crackdown is targeting not only the medical marijuana dispensaries, but also the landlords who lease commercial space to these outfits, ordering them to either evict their tenants or risk forfeiting their property. Carlo?
Thanks, Richard. While Poway has banned pot clinics within its city limits, it does not affect medical marijuana users who are permitted under state law to grow or use marijuana for medical reasons.
That's the reason why I bring this up is because not just because I think it's a just random story or whatever offhand. It's because I think this is becoming more and more of a spread across the nation with here in Colorado. Now, a lot of you are going to sit here and say, I told you so. I told you that they were, coming to Colorado. I told you that they were coming to other places, but I wasn't necessarily saying that they weren't going to come to us. I mean, I think that in my mind, I think that we have a better system to be able to defend against this type of situation than a lot of other people, but it's becoming concerning of how fast and how hard they're coming down on dispensaries. Not only in California, but in possibly here in Colorado. I think I don't think I've heard of any other dispensaries here in Colorado receiving any letters, any more letters being sent out. I talked to Warren this morning, and he said no more new letters have been sent out yet. But that, like we had mentioned before on the show, there's waves that we think possibly we're going to go out here in Colorado. Like the first set of waves were the people that had been grandfathered in to the system. And, obviously the DA didn't enjoy that decision made by the people here in the state of Colorado, even though it was a decision made by the people here in the state of Colorado legislature. I mean, I mean, I don't know how to put it. I mean, being extremely tired and out of whack that I am. I mean, I don't want to make it seem like I'm going back on any word or saying anything new here. It's just yesterday that with those raids and stuff, and with what the DEA. It's more of the mindset, I guess, of where we sit right now. It's the DEA and the government is getting some serious cojones when it comes to this issue. I mean. And not like they didn't have them before, but I don't know. It feels like, especially in San Diego and in certain parts of California, that they're just gonna, no matter what, And then with each time, like say with the letters here sent to Colorado, it like that gives the people in like San Diego or wherever it is the gusto to go out and do something else. It's like they feed off of each other. It's weird. in a way. I mean, it makes sense that it would happen in that way because you would want it, like as I guess if you were tactically going after something that, yeah, you want to stack as much as you can. I mean, the DEA is one big organization. Oh, it's crazy. I just got done watching season 3, episode 5. Oh, Scott's here. Season 3, episode 5 of The Wire. The Wire, fantastic, fantastic show. If anybody has not watched The Wire yet, I do suggest you do go out and get The Wire. It's an HBO show that was on like a couple years ago. It's not on anymore. First season's kind of slow, kind of like the start of today's Genre Radio show. But no, it's first season's kind of slow. Second season, you have to get into it a little bit. But once that third season, like everybody told me, I mean, it's really banging right now because that felony rate in Detroit is, it's in Detroit, right? No, it's in Baltimore. Yeah, the felony rate in Baltimore is so high that they're trying these weird, funky things, and I'm now at the point where they're like, they've basically like allowed these drug dealers to go to the certain area of the street and do their thing, and then even like to the point of like they've brought like people to come buy from them in this certain point, and then doing that in order to round them all up, like take them away from the streets that are occupied to these streets that are not occupied, and then just eventually round them up and ship them off, bust them off. Anyway, I don't know. It's a lot more interesting the way that I explained it just there. It's crazy. Like, I mean, the legalization of drugs, and I mean, it's a weird, provocative show that explores the legalization of drugs and like that side of drugs in like, I don't know, in an HBO kind of way. It's not really anything crazy new or anything, but it's just like it's The Wire. Scott, have you seen The Wire?
I don't have HBO, man.
I know, neither do I, but I downloaded it.
Okay.
I'm just saying, maybe back in the day you did have HBO.
I did back in the day.
Scott from Rare Dankness hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Also Pam.
Howdy. Hello. So what's happening with you, man?
Just chilling here. Where I was going with all that is
you found your new favorite show.
Well, yeah. That's what I'm always constantly watching right now. I go home and turn it on. The comfort show, I guess, is what it is. I hate having to search for a million different things on there. I got a bunch of different shows that are on, like True Blood, and which probably wasn't the first example I should have used there, but that's okay. Dexter. Breaking Bad, I think, is an incredible show. Sons of Anarchy. Yep. Those are pretty much the shows that I watch. Those and
cool. Some good ones.
I used to watch a bunch of TVs down at the end of the evening. Watch a lot of TV, but
yeah, my kids are all about the Billy the Exterminator and Swamp People and anything that has snakes and alligators in it.
Yeah, that's what. That's the Discovery Channel. That Billy the Exterminator. I remember when the first time he was on Dirty Jobs.
Yeah, man.
I loved watching that show.
That guy had kind of a progression. He went like Dirty Jobs, and then he had Verminators. And now he has his own show.
Yeah. Crazy dude. He's a crazy dude. Anyway, where I was going with all that, the stuff with The Wire and the Baltimore and everything, and the way that they're, doing drugs and just the TV show and stuff is just these different ideas of ways to handle and do this drug war, like being brought forward. It's like, you see in different areas and in pop culture, these things being put into place, these ideas. And it's like they're a joke, but it's not really a joke. It's like, why can't we actually try these things? Like, why can't we actually, I'm not saying ship a bunch of crack dealers down to a certain part of the town. And I mean, I'm not saying that this was the most greatest idea in the world that these people had, but what I am saying is that why does, we sit here and watch The Wire or whatever, the TV show Law and Order or whatever, and America can see these problems and they see it played out in front of them, and they see solutions that might work, much less the problem, and that being beaten in the head over and over and over that, look, there's a problem here. It's not getting fixed. And in fact, it's getting worse with the way that we're doing it.
Yep.
And our pop culture even shows that those facts.
Well, we've been brought up to believe that, the drug war is a criminal problem instead of being a social issue, and it's a social issue.
But why can't we wake up to that? Why can't people see Like,
America's not like that, dude.
We can't
Come on
connect
now.
TV. We can't connect TV and politics.
Oh, not at all.
Entertainment. Yeah, you're right.
Not
I
at
mean,
all.
sometimes we are kind of like that. It's bad.
Yep. I mean, there was something on the news last week that had something to do with, church and state, how they were trying to keep, church out of state or whatever. And you're like, well, why can't it be the flip of that? Why can't we keep the whole religious aspect and religious ideas out of politics? But you can't, it's intertwined in America. And it's all hand in hand,
Yeah, but it'll be years and yeah.
Well, what
change.
what it takes is getting people to move into areas where it is a closed mindset and slowly change that mindset, or those people that are within those areas that have the proper mindset just to be brave enough to stand up and educate people.
Yep. We're running a good.
I was complaining about stupid people this morning, and Pamela had to remind me that the thing I'm always talking about is educating people. So it's like, yeah, all right, touche.
Those are all your students.
That's definitely what we're trying to do here every day. Let me get some commercials here. We'll come back and talk with Scott a little bit about what he's got going on, and then we'll talk with Kim about her article. Also, she has an article in Kush magazine.
Nice.
And figure why not address that? That's very, very, very proud of that article. I mean, as proud as you can be for what it was earned. I mean,
Hey, it's good.
without putting my foot in my mouth there.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, it's the John Doe Radio Show. This is going to be louder than shiz inside of our headphones, so I'm going to turn us down here and go 3. If I can find my damn thing. All right, we'll be back with Scott here from RareDankness.com.
John Doe Radio.
Under Pink House Blooms, you will find some of Colorado's most respected and popular cannabis centers, including the Cherry Company at 111 Madison Street, the Pearl Company at 1445 Pearl Street, and the Teapot Lounge at 2008 Federal. You have heard the amazing products available from Nika T and his solventless wax and hashes from his appearances on John Doe Radio, and now you get to know about the amazing ISO hash made by our good bud Stephen Lewis. This ISO wax cannot be beat, and I challenge you to find a better product. But not only are the products great, but just as I need in my personal caregiver, the service is friendly and personable too. Pink House Blooms and its stores are proud to carry essential extracts, rare dankness, and hoodlum and vector products. All stores are open from 10 to 7 every day, with daily specials like Tuesday, 2-for-1 joints, Warehouse Wednesdays, where they weigh all Pink House grown meds at 4-gram eighths all day long. Thursdays, buy one edible, get the other half off, and Sundays, let's just say they make it rain. And remember, industry employees get a discount at patient pricing. The Cherry Company on 111 Madison Street, 303-399-6337. The Pearl Company at 1445 South Pearl Street, 303-733-6337. And the Teapot Lounge at 2008 Federal, 303-656-9697. Pink House Blooms. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop has got your high-quality, American-made, unique pieces and some of the best scientific glass available anywhere. Artists and companies like Mike Fro, Cowboy, Zob, Royal, and D-Rock with some of the best products the Mile High State has to offer. Treehouse, Joel Halen, Worm, Tricky, and more. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop also carries Sheldon Black, one of the highest names in glass standards. Don't miss out on the Holy Water Style Collection either. Our friend John Waters offers his line of shirts, jackets, hats, and skateboards for men and women. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop for everything the JDR Army needs. Mention JDR or John Doe Radio and get 20% off. 20%! Visit MadHatterSmokeShop.com or email store@MadHatterSmokeShop.com for inquiries. Mad Hatter Smoke Shop, 6091 West Colfax Avenue in Denver, 303-953-7015. Store at MadHatterSmokeShop.com, 6091 West Colfax Avenue, Denver, Colorado, 303-953-7015. Trouble with the law? Or maybe you're looking to start a medical marijuana business? The law firm of Edson, Mayton, and Matz can help. Attorneys Warren Edson, Lauren Mayton, and Chris Matz offer a wide range of criminal defense-related assistance and cannabis legal services. Call the team of legal professionals ready to help you or your business out today. 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or check out the website warrenedson.com. That's warrenedson, EDSON.com.
Platte Valley Medical Marijuana Center in Denver has some of the most affordable prices anywhere. Don't believe us? Call them 303-953-0295. That's 303-953-0295. Or just head down and visit them. Trust us. Located at 2301 7th Street, Unit B, across from the Denver Aquarium. Great people who care about a fine selection of meds and a wide variety of extracts from top shelf extracts. With daily specials like Monday Madness with premium strain specific joints for only $1 when they're normally $3. Wax Wednesday with all wax for $15 a gram when normally $20 a gram. And during the NFL playoffs, Platte Valley is running a special on select ounces for just $125 and select $15 eighths, not bottom shelf strains either. You didn't miss what I just said. $125 ounces and $15 select eighths, not bottom shelf strains either. Don't miss one of the busiest and most convenient dispensary locations in Denver, Platte Valley Medical Marijuana Center, located at 2301 7th Street, Unit B, 303-953-0295. And until January 15th, everyone gets patient prices at $25 eighths and $150 ounces. Platte Valley Medical Marijuana Center.
John Doe Radio.
Back live on the John Doe Radio Show. Thank you for hanging out with us. Apologize again, Scott, for the it's kind of a misbalance inside of the headphones and stuff, so yeah. Anyway, it sounds different. I know it does.
Oh, it's all good.
You're probably like, dude, this is weird.
It's all good, man. Yeah, I don't know if you heard, but I had that little interview with Danny Danko for Free the Weed.
Yeah, that was
Weed or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that via cell phone, and I think that 20 minutes took like 2.5 hours with all the cutting out and drop calls and technical issues.
Really?
It happens.
Yeah, no, I know exactly how. I know. It's just, I hate
technology, man.
I hate having. Yeah, even if I should be able to know exactly how to do it. Like boom, bam, boom, boom, boom. Like pick up, move, whatever. But I'm telling you, technology's changed so much. Like it's the difference between like I can hook this thing up completely non-digital, which is like like there's a USB that goes to and from it, and that's basically makes it digital. I don't know. It's inside baseball crap that probably I don't need to get into and some stuff, but frustratingly,
yeah, man.
Yeah, frustratingly inside baseball that not a lot of people even know how to do it. Not a lot of people even know how to do what I know how to do. Or
it's pretty cool stuff, though. I mean, you're starting to see more and more, more and more breeders and cannabis people popping up with their own little shows and stuff. So, to make the little technology accessible at home, or that stuff's cool.
Definitely. And Danny's been doing his show for a minute now, and so what'd you guys, you and Danny, what'd you guys sit down and talk about?
He wanted to talk to me about the Cannabis Cup and just what it was like as a, first-time winner, what that whole experience was like. And then, we talked a little plant selection on the male aspect. And
what made it into the cast?
What made it into the show?
Yeah,
a lot of stuff, yeah. I mean, there was really very little that we discussed that didn't make it in. I mean, he played.
Okay, I thought you guys had talked for like a while, but you just between all the hiccups and stuff, it just
got cut down to just like 20 minutes or so.
Oh, okay.
But we talked about Spain, and we talked about what was going on here. Talked about LA, and we talked about the Devil's Harvest crew a little bit, and how the generation of breeders that's kind of come out of the internet world are a little more open to discussing, techniques and methods, and aren't so hush hush and proprietary about some of the stuff that other breeders have been, tight-lipped on for a bunch of years.
Yeah.
It's always an honor when the High Times guys calls on you. So it was interesting.
Right on. Good times, man. So, anything else that you're working on right now? I mean, what's been going on the past week?
We're starting to get out and talk to a few dispensaries here in the state about setting up the new Rare Dankness gardens. Since we're leaving Southwest, or I'm leaving Southwest at the end of February, you won't be able to get my meds there anymore. So we're shopping around and trying to find out what's going to be the best. Best route for us to take, whether it's to go out to a bunch of different dispensaries and do, a few small gardens to have, top tier shelves within those facilities. Or we've been offered, a 2,500 square foot warehouse to do whatever the hell I want to do with. I've been offered a 300 light grow to do whatever I want.
So you're still looking for places to grow then? I thought you'd kind of settled in with.
Nah, I have a crew of people that pretty much work for me. So
you'll be in multiple places is what you're saying?
Yeah, so when when somebody hires me, they don't just, for whatever salary they're paying me, they get 3 or 4 people. So, we're trying to figure out what's going to be the best for Rare Dankness, whether it's to, go into one facility and just blow it up and be the new high-end wholesale for everybody, or whether just to go out and branch out to a bunch of places.
That's what I mean.
And
Is
be
that, and you can do that?
Yeah,
cool.
Most definitely.
That's kosher. That's really cool. I mean, that would be. I mean, either one have. That's really something to think about. I mean, that's really an interesting. That's a really cool.
It was one of those things. When I decided not to renew the contract with Southwest, had a lot of people look at me like I was crazy. Like, how are you going to give up, $10,000 to $15,000 a month just to walk away from that as a grower? And the money's never been the drive for me. I mean, the seed thing does well on its own, but it's just being able to represent what I'm about to the fullest. And I wasn't able to do that with Southwest, and whether I'll be able to really represent by having a bunch of small gardens, or whether I just take over a facility, that's right now it's the $1 million question.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
and I don't have to make that decision, for another month, so that's kind of nice. But I've explained, the only way I can describe it, it's like winning the Heisman Trophy and then deciding to go into the draft, but not having to go with the team you're going to get drafted to.
Yeah, that's cool.
Getting to pick whoever you want.
Exactly. I mean, that's what's cool about it, is that you do, like, you have your pick.
Yeah.
You can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, and
awesome.
that in itself makes this, stress level come way down when, I can get to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then get to make, 3 or 4 of my friends, make their, your salary or whatever, make them a paycheck. It's just nice to be able to help out everybody.
Yeah, I got to go see if I get that car, my blue card, just because, not saying even for work for you or whatever. I got to
just try to get it.
Try and see if I go get it.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm going to get mine too.
You can speak up.
Speak up.
I said I'm going to get mine too. You don't have my on, or my headphones aren't on, one of the two.
Holy crap-a-moly, I don't think I heard anything that she just said there.
Kim's not
Is
feeling
the mic
it.
on even?
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, well, my headphones
You're
aren't
like
on then.
not even on it though.
I apologize for not being on it. I don't know how much closer you want me to
Right,
be.
like right here, right on it.
I'm going to kick your ass. Oops. Arse.
Let's mention some mic presence. You were just all the way back here.
Sorry. Just trying to be here, not trying to throw anybody off.
So how was it being interviewed by Kush for your article?
It was
did
very informal. Amy just sent me an email with the questions.
Okay, cool.
And I just kind of sent her my answers. I kind of blabbered a little bit.
Yeah, I was kind of like, they didn't interview me, but I guess I was being interviewed not knowingly by Rye while he was walking around the garden.
Yeah, no doubt. I talked to him a lot about the pictures that he'd taken for you. And been waiting for that banana Kush. Did you take it over there today?
Bananas,
Did
it
you
should
drop
be
it
in
today?
there. Yeah, it should be in there.
I called yesterday and it wasn't. So
They drop it whenever they want, but yeah, it's
They're
all
like,
packaged up and ready to
we
go.
might have it tomorrow. I'm like, okay.
It was funny to hear all that OG went out the door the very first day. So.
No doubt. It was gone quick.
Well, all the bud tenders and employees and all that had to get.
Yeah,
in
and
there.
they always have their little group of people that they always get the good
Call
stuff
first, yeah.
So they weigh out everybody's stuff, and then whatever's left, then you might get some.
Yeah.
But I've heard a ton of people that are already saying they're not going back there because your stuff's not going to be there.
I don't know. It happens. I had a real loyal following that, you know, when I left Stone Mountain and rolled out of there, I mean, there were 90% of the patients, I think, at Stone Mountain left.
I talked to somebody the other day that actually was
one of my patients up there.
Channing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. So, you know, that's an honor, you know, for people to follow you. But I mean, geez, don't put yourself in harm's way or at risk, you know, just because of me. I mean, there's plenty of good growers out there. But yeah, man, we're talking to a lot of places. You know, it's pretty cool to be able to, you know, not have to like, oh, I gotta find a job, you know, I gotta, you know, beg for whatever salary, just to like sit down, talk to people, see what they have to offer, and, you know, see whether or not they mesh with your philosophy. Because, you know, in the beginning, you know, my philosophy, like I love this plant, I'm here for this plant, you know, I do everything I can for the plant. It's through your act of doing, you know, great stuff on behalf of others, and just, you know, not putting yourself first, I think ultimately is what what pays you, instead of just going out there and hounding everybody for the almighty dollar. And you know, same time though, it's like, Jesus, I got a lot of people that want me to work for them, so I gotta make a decision. Yeah.
But, you know, it's good that you can even just do it for yourself. I mean, that's the thing, is like you almost be your own boss, and at this point in time, I mean, having taken that cup, I mean, it gives you a huge room to be able to do what you want to do, and exactly what you're saying right here, you know. And then who knows what the future holds, you know, who knows what the ability for, I've heard of, you know, obviously people, you know, move from here, move to California or whatever, you know, or whatever the thing is, you know.
Yeah.
It's expanding and doing it in a beautiful American way. I mean, it's just that's the awesomeness about it. But it sucks so much that, like what we talked about earlier, you know, people are so complacent and so asleep. The theme of today. People are so complacent and asleep with everything that it's just like they don't see that. They don't see the beautifulness in what you and what, you know, like Mitch. I mean, you work close with Mitch. I mean, what he's done, what, you know, some of our other friends have done in building companies and building business in at a time where, I mean, yeah, it can happen, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to be able to do it all. Not even close. I mean,
well, I mean, it's easy to be complacent. You know, like it's a rut you get in, and you know, you lose that feeling of being alive because you don't have that stress or excitement of doing something totally different or something that might be against the law or whatever, or in the face of the establishment. And
man, I'm
glad. You can't be complacent. I had a friend
I'm glad I got rid of my grow. I'm so glad. I mean, I got rid of my stress. I mean, I'm still stressed at the evening times, but I mean, that as far as like knowing that they can come through my door and I know I'm good. You know, I'm
man, with that law they just signed in, they can come do that anyway.
Yeah, I know they can do that anyway. But you know, I mean, but before me going through the raid and stuff, I mean, it's like, you know, I had 13 plants at the time of the raid when I was raided, you know, and like a couple ounces. I mean, it's just bad information, people, you know, wanting to ruin your life, whatever it may be. I mean, there's a tons of things that can just trip you up or whatever. And then if I know I'm good, then that's my peace of mind. And that's where for a long time I tried to work towards. But then I went ahead and, you know, we got rid of the garden, and it's like, turn around and, you know, the business side of things is stressful in its own. You know, it's like, you know, being a gardener is one thing, and being a caregiver, that was where the biz was, man. That was where the bee's knees awesomeness, like that. That's what I want to do, is just grow greens and make oil for the rest of my life. And I mean, doing the John Doe Radio Show is in there too, but if I had to quit the John Doe Radio Show and then go do something else, if that was available, that's what I'd be doing. But I mean, they've made that impossible for people to be able to do safely, legally, and that sucks, and it's frustrating, and it's really put a burden on a lot of people. Not only just because they can't, the growers can't grow, but there was a lot of cannabis going out free too. I mean, there's a lot of people that I know before that weren't having to pay for cannabis that now are due. Like
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that I'm sitting here having to face. And
when they put when they went back to the five patients per caregiver and then started the caregiver registry. I mean, I had a ton of friends that were like, growing for myself, like I'm not growing for anybody anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean, even like when I left Stone Mountain and told people that I'm not going to be the grower here and stuff. I mean, it's hard telling people that are sick that depend on you. I can't do it anymore because of A, B, and C. And half the time they don't understand it. They think it's for whatever other reasons, and it's tough. I mean, I had one patient get mad at me and say, that OG that you do, changed my freaking life. Like, what am I supposed to do now? And
I can see why they'd say that, though.
It's hard. It's really hard.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
And until we legalize this plant, it's going to be that way, we keep coming back to the legalization, decriminalization, question all the time. And, I'm pro legalization, man. I don't give a shit if this plant drops to where you're only getting $50 an ounce, that matters not to me.
Yeah. There'll be other products, there'll be other ways, there'll be other means.
Seeing this plant just legalized, like I keep hearing people talk about rescheduling, and I'm like, I don't want it rescheduled. I want it off. Like, I want them to take it off the list. You know, like, it's a plant. So, at the end of the day, my drive is to see this plant free.
Schedule 5 at the most, That's with like the
aspirin,
some other herbs. I didn't even think I don't even know if aspirin is like in that. Is it aspirin Schedule 5 or 4? I don't even know. 4. Anyway, but the point being that
there are deaths from aspirin, so it might be.
Yeah, exactly. Those deaths from water.
Exactly. No deaths. Peanuts kill quite a few people every year.
Yep, anaphylactic shock.
What's crazy is I do have an allergy. I say this time and time. I have an allergy to cannabis. Like in my garden.
If it touches your skin.
Get hives when you get the leaves rub on you?
When I was in the garden, it just touched my... If I didn't wear long sleeves or whatever, it'd come out and it's just my arms would be just like red.
Yeah, there's specific strains that affect my allergies. Like when I'm trimming them.
Oh, I believe it,
Like that. Like some stuff won't do it, but other stuff, like when I'm trimming it, it'll fire off my like sinuses so hard that I just got like snot running out of my nose.
Oh, wow.
Or I'll be sneezing,
There's a few that are worse than others, like the tange. Like tange is... just the oil for some reason. I don't know. It's really oily.
Yeah.
And, some mixture with that strain. And that, crazy enough, not alone the buds, but like the leaves too. I mean, just like the leaves scrape like along the arm or whatever. Then it's just like...
Got hives.
It's weird, man. And like leaves like a nice little red mark and it gets itchy and I wash, with warm water and soap and it goes away immediately. It's not like anything like that. But... I don't know of anybody, and in fact, I think Dr. Mitch did answer this at one point in time. If it was possible to be allergic to actually ingesting cannabis, allergic to THC. Like, I don't think it's possible to be allergic to THC.
Since it's naturally produced in your body,
Yeah,
maybe.
Like the only things that you can be, the only things that you
go to allergist and get the scratch test.
Yeah,
come on, man, rub that nug
Pam
on me.
gives me a weird look like that, but it's weird. It's one of those weird things. Like it falls under a certain category that if you eliminate the plant material, you eliminate those outside factors of whatever that it's pretty much that chemical of like that bottom line chemical. I don't think that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that from what I've heard from. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can't be there's
allergic.
no one that's truly allergic to the makeup of
THC.
Of THC.
Huh. I can see
Pam,
that.
what do you? She wants to argue that. Say. I want to hear what she has to say. She's like, no. That's quite all right. I'm probably wrong though. Is the issue with that one?
I'd hate to be that person.
The problem is that we were also talking about like different circumstances. Like, actually like, burning the greens. I mean, there's, like I said, that you have to.
Yeah, I'm sure you can be allergic to something in the smoke. I'm sure you can be allergic to something else.
Plant,
but
whatever.
The base compound of THC.
Yeah. I'm talking about the base compound. So anyway, hey, Grey Wolf in the chat room. Let me give me your he's rebroadcasting our show, and in his chat room, I just want to give his chat a shout out there and say what's up with that. But also make sure you check out Scott and what all he's got at. Why was I going to go? I was going to give you another weird website like Scott's Rare Dankness.
Scott's Rare Dankness.
Yeah, no. Check out raredankness.com. You can also call him 970-812-DANK. And if you would like to get Scott's product inside your dispensary, the seeds, I assume they're still available to be put in dispensaries.
Yeah. You can hit Pamela up. Don't hit me up. Hit Pamela up at Pamela at raredankness.com.
I tell him. So that number then is that.
Oh, the dank line? Yeah, it's still fine.
Okay,
I mean, it'll hit Mitch or it'll hit me or whatever.
Cool.
Like, don't call the dank line if you want to talk to me about how to germinate your freaking seeds, or, like what my favorite strain is of what we got. But
have they been doing that?
Oh yeah, dude. I get some of the just the craziest freaking emails and calls and stuff.
I was dying about it.
Can't be the JDR
Facebook.
Come on.
A couple days ago,
yeah.
I mean, I had a moment the other day, and it was one of those moments where I was just like, I literally opened up my email, and there were 35 emails, and 20 of them were asking for free shit.
Oh, that's a different story. That's totally that's complete. That's understandable. Yeah, I get that.
So, yeah, I had a little bit of a moment on Facebook.
Giving you sob stories of.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody's got a sob story, and I've got my own, but it's like, I was just having that moment of like, everything I've done, everything I've accomplished, everything that has been, big, has been because of just a couple of people, in my life and myself, and that's it. Like I've never gone to anybody, not my parents, to anybody, and ever asked to have my mortgage paid for or my car payments paid for. I've always tried to find, I've always been resourceful and find a way to, figure it out, pick up a few extra hours doing something, it befuddles me sometimes how people are so there's like a sense of entitlement sometimes just because you've made it.
Yep.
And they don't necessarily know, like,
you owe me something.
Well, they don't necessarily know, like, even though that we've made it, there's been so much put back into this that we have a huge mountain to overcome with, the debt and just repayment of everything. So it's like,
well, it's one thing in giving back it's one thing in giving back, and then it's a whole other thing for just, opportunists, I guess, is the thing that comes to mind.
And I mean, I get, and that's the thing. I think that's what really pissed me off is there's like, there's like 5 people that they have this form letter, dude.
Yeah.
And it comes to my email every week, like on Tuesday or Wednesday, of every week. And it's just this freaking form letter of everything that's happened bad in their life and, what cannabis means to them and how, I should feel, obliged to hook them up. And I'm like, if you lived here in Colorado and you came and you told me that story, I'd give you whatever you need in a second. But because you're in Kentucky or you're in Alabama or whatever, I can't. Like, I can't. Like, I can't send stuff through the mail. I can't help you because you're not in a med state.
In Colorado.
Yeah, you're not in a med state.
Yeah,
like, I can't help you.
Yeah, I can't imagine because honestly, dude, I do know you, and I know what I would do in your situation. I know how. I also know you, and you do what you can. I mean, it's not like a situation where it's like you sit here and be greedy and whatever. I mean, I think all of us in our own ways, when we can, try and give back. I mean, that's something about this community that's just really.
It's all about helping your brother out and giving kickdowns or whatever.
I mean, that's what's kind of
to a point.
They're. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's still a business. It's still that industry. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the best way to explain it is. It's different than any other industry kind of out there in a way because of the way we've gone through the streets and how we've come up. How our culture is with cannabis and like just smoking each other up. The business side of things sometimes becomes
you fall into one of two categories. Either you fall into somebody who gives everything away and has nothing, or you're a douche. And right now I'm a douche. So.
No, not at all, dude. Not at all. That's not even close to it at all. So I can't have people thinking that at all in any means. So.
But you know, it's you know, it's the same time. I've been a part of this community for over a decade. I've had my trolls, I've had my haters, but at the same time, I have a lot of people out there just like yourself who, know what I'm about, know that I try to help everybody that I possibly can, and those are the people that matter.
Yeah, I wish I could do more. I mean,
I got this buddy who's a taxidermist, and he's one of the best taxidermists in the state. And he calls me up out of the blue the other day, and he's like, "Dude, I just Googled you and found all these people just hating on you." And he's like, "I want to say good job, because when I reached the point where I knew I was one of the best in the state," he's like, all of a sudden everybody and their mom want to talk crap behind my back, and he's like, now that you've got that going on, you're doing something right. So.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's the crazy part about success is, when it brings out the haters, you can either, have it do one or two things. You can either have it get you down, or you can sort of build off that, and recognize.
It bothers me. That's why I try not
success.
to read that crap. So
I mean, it's the same here. It's the same thing with me, dude. I feel the same exact way. Someone when I sit here and I mention, give us a review on iTunes or whatever, and please review us overall and not just one show, and it's like
they call you out for one thing.
Yeah,
and
it's
like, jeez,
and that's such a huge mark on it's such 99% of our listens come from iTunes, and it just gets to you. But there's not a lot. You can't control what someone else does or says. You can only you can make your product the best that you can possibly
and that's it.
do.
You can say whatever you want about my product, but when people start talking about like me and my friendships, or people I know, or people that think they know me, that stuff, you're just like,
yeah, you try not to even worry about that. Try not to even worry about that. That's just ridiculousness. So
drama
to the nth degree. So everything going good, Pam?
She's handling business over there,
it's
man.
cool. It's cool. She's handling business and listening to the show at the same time.
Yeah, we had this talk this morning where I was like, "So you can start doing the radio stuff for me and all that?" She's like, "I will do all the marketing, I'll handle all the sales, all the law bullshit, whatever, but I cannot be, the face of Rare Dankness or the voice of Rare Dankness. That's got to be you."
Dude, I mean, I would absolutely love to have Pam on the air and you both at the same time. It'd be fantastic, but I mean, come on now, dude.
She'll end up talking too much crap on me. So.
I love it. Maybe we do need to have her one day. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm too sleep deprived here. I don't even know what I'm saying. So no, it's just good to have you guys in here and recognize y'all as some good friends, and truly, honestly, wish the best for y'all. I say that every week, but dude, it's cool watching people. So some people in the chat room, mention it's so cool having so many growers and people in the Denver area and Colorado area. And I'm sure people in California felt the same way, as they come up, and they probably still feel the same way. But, just like with you and other people, it's crazy. You, Adam Dunn, specifically.
Yeah, man.
I mean, having those guys around, and then the private people. I mean, there's just so many strains out there, so many different concoctions and things that Mother Nature can create that people haven't got out to. I mean, it's just, wow.
Yeah, man.
We're lucky here. And it's because of the openness and freeness of everything. And not even just the laws, but our mindset here as Coloradans. I mean, we're just outdoorsy,
friendly.
Yeah, that's good times.
Yeah, and if you're usually Colorado people, if you're into the same type of stuff, they're as open as they possibly can be with it. Doesn't matter if it's disc golf or music or whatever,
That's funny you say music and stuff, because when I think of Colorado, outdoors and stuff, the first thing that comes to my mind is it's just Red Rocks.
Oh, okay.
Just think of Red Rocks, but bluegrass.
See, I live up by Estes, so I go through Planet Bluegrass just about every day down there in Lyons. And,
yeah, dude.
In the summertime, that.
When you did say that, that did ring a bell, and because there's bluegrass festivals everywhere, dude. It's insane. So, all right, let me get to I got another sponsor read here to make sure we cover a cut above, and then I'd like to cover Kim's article, and then we got to get going here and make it a quick end to the show. So I got some errands and stuff to make sure we take care of and run, and make my realtor happy. It's still not funny, but What are you gonna
If
do?
they want their money, they'll wait.
If they want their house rented, they'll be happy that somebody's at least paying rent on the house.
Yeah.
okay.
Cut Above Denver. Make sure you check these guys out. Awesome spot to go. And more specifically, I really dig the owner, why we brought these guys on board. Debo is this dude that I've known from the beginning of me being around here, and just looking at his grow and the way that he kind of went about things. At first, he's kind of like was a little wild, you know. 1911 South Broadway, by the way, has 2 shops, one in Colorado Springs, and specifically pushing the one here in Denver, 1911 South Broadway. But there was a time when everything first started, and we were all like, you know, like you should be doing this, and you, as a like, don't do this at the conventions or whatever, you know. And I mean, somewhat was you know, type of that whatever wild out person that I may have worried about. I'm not saying he did anything or anything like that, but man, I started looking through his grows, started looking through the product that this dude can put forward, and it's fracking amazing. I mean, did you see the picture I posted the other night of, I don't know if you noticed, of a cut above, just like the close-up of shot of like this, looked like a mountain range of
trikes and stuff.
And just that, it's just awesomeness. Anyway, some of the biggest plants that I've seen be grown. Dude's a good grower. I mean, as we were mentioning ago, is just insane growers around. I'm sure everywhere. But anyway, this guy's one of them. So check him out, 1911 South Broadway, $165 ounces. First-time patients receive member pricing and a free pre-roll. 15 strains at $25. Tons of edibles. Chiba Chews, 2 for $15. Blue Kudu, Dr. J's, and more. Also got tons of glass, oil rigs, bubblers, spoons at reasonable prices. So check them out, Cut Above, 1911 South Broadway in Denver. You all right over there, Kim?
She's zoning out.
She's going through some stupid pain.
Yeah.
So I feel kind of bad.
Pain sucks, man.
It does. It sucks horribly. Speaking of ridiculousness, do you want to talk about your article here for a second?
Sure. Yeah, we can.
So you have an article here in Kush magazine.
Yes.
It's a Kush, Colorado magazine, and our friend Amy approached you and said, "Hey, we're doing these patient profiles every month, and why don't you, can you tell us your story and be open with your story?"
Yes, sir.
So tell us about it. Tell us what it's all about.
It tells my history a little bit. A lot of people don't know I was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension.
Pulmonary hypertension, that's kind of, what does that
involves my lungs and my heart and the rest of my organs in my body not getting the correct amount of oxygenated blood.
That probably is a lot because of the painkillers.
That's what they decided that mine was caused from. Pulmonary hypertension is kind of weird. It can be idiopathic, to where they don't know where it came from. It can be genetic, where they get it from genes. But yeah, my case.
Idiopathic.
Yeah.
How's that even See, that word shouldn't exist. That's a JDR word.
That's a Scrabble word.
Yeah, no doubt.
10-point word. Kim also has a background in medical.
I've been a surgical tech for 15 years.
So
I initially started using medical marijuana to treat a chronic back injury or chronic pain from a back injury that I had, that I got in surgery in 2001. And then I found out that I had the pulmonary hypertension. I was told that, pretty much the levels of narcotics that I was on, which was extremely high, about 200 milligrams of morphine and about 200 milligrams of Percocet, 2 different times within one day.
I can't even imagine how much you still take today as it is.
Actually, I'm down about 90%. I take 30 milligrams of morphine and 20 milligrams of Percocet twice a day.
It just amazes me when people tell me their stories of the painkiller, like how much painkillers they take. I'm dumbfounded. I mean,
what I'm on now is still a lot for most people.
Can't function, man.
But
yeah, like how you can't function. I mean,
like I really notice, but you notice when I get low on them, like it's
start having the withdrawals.
It's a bear. Well, I don't. really
Or
go
you start
through withdrawals because I keep
intensifying.
it
Your pain
enough.
intensifies.
Like I keep where I have like still 1 in the morning and 1 at night. I just drop my levels a lot. So yeah, I'm feeling the pain.
Yeah.
And it's just actually today my legs are really swollen, which is the first time I've had any of the pH symptoms in a really long time. Kind of scared me this morning, but you know, I was left when I was diagnosed. My doctor just told me like, "Oh, you have pH, like you have a common cold type thing," and I knew nothing about it. It's not a very common disease or anything, so I didn't find out actually until I would say probably August or September of 2011, actually what pulmonary hypertension was and what it entailed, and that it was actually a terminal illness that I wasn't able or going to be able to get rid of unless I would be getting a double lung transplant, which
ain't happening.
yeah. So, you know, I got kind of nervous and I was like, you know, why did my doctor not send me to a specialist? I found this group on Facebook. It's a pH group, and all these people are talking about all these IV meds that they're on. You know, they're attached to these IV pumps 24 hours a day, and you know, they got to have all these heart caths all the time. And you know, I was like, wow, I'm only on oxygen at night. Either I like don't have this very severely, or my doctor's screwing up somewhere. Yeah. So I found out that my levels, my pressures in my heart were still like 3 times the norm, you know, of what the cutoff is for having pH.
See, speaking of levels, there you go. You get all up there and talking all loud, and my levels get all, I'm like juggling here. I'm juggling. I can't stand this board. I'm ready to throw the board. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there with ridiculousness.
You're okay.
Felt like a good point.
So,
to
you know, when I was
though.
told that, you know, that day, I quit the narcotics, which is not the right thing to do. Yeah. Put myself in the hospital. And then I realized that I could treat myself with, you know, my medical marijuana and still be able to function and try to back off of the meds that way, which is what I had to do because what I did didn't work for me at all.
Sometimes I think it's hard for me to understand how much it takes for some people's pain to be taken away with medical marijuana, because for me, my pain is a neuropathic pain, and for a lot of people they have neuropathic pain, which is the hardest pain to sort of get rid of, which, I mean, opiates, I mean, it's really hard. It's just hard for you to get. Opiates are specifically designed for neuropathic type pain, but even then, they're, I mean, not as effective as.
No, I'd even been prescribed like gabapentin and things that are specifically for nerve pain. That wouldn't even take it away.
I mean, but here's the thing: is what's crazy though is that like with my neuropathic pain, like there's only a certain point that like cannabis like takes away. Like it doesn't work past a certain point. But then for other people that have probably like that, say, I mean, the migraines are like straight some of the worst pain I think anybody can have. I mean, they're different kind of pains, broken bone, whatever, joint pain, you know, arthritis, etc. But just I find it really, really, really incredible, the stories of the people that get that huge relief from it. And it's to people out there that question it because maybe they see someone like myself, you know, that uses in combination, you know, a few different things, doesn't necessarily work all the time or be that go-to, you know, drug after a point. Right. But for maybe someone like you or maybe someone like Scott or whoever it is that. Right. Like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's enough people that it is out there. Bringing those stories out is kind of what interests me, and I find that fascinating. That
well, what amazed me is the fact,
because I can still get convinced today that it's this amazing drug.
Yeah. Well, what amazed me even more is the fact that I didn't know I was doing anything with the pH while I was doing this. You know, I thought I was just treating my pain. I
didn't know you were helping your pH.
Right. Initially, I wasn't treating my pulmonary hypertension.
Well, because of like the lack of, because you were taking back on the pain medication.
My main goal when I got my red card was to get off of the pain pills. but I didn't know that I was treating the pulmonary hypertension at the same time.
You would think that a doctor would tell you that, though. You'd think a
But
doctor would
remember,
be like,
though, I just said my doctor left me. I wasn't under a doctor's treatment at all. And then so December, I went back, I believe it was December 2nd. And my doctor, he's a pH specialist that's really known in Colorado, Dr. Lang. And I went to him, and he did, all the little tests that he does have me do. And my echo that I had had a couple weeks before that showed my heart was back to normal size. The hole that was in the heart was healed. My blood pressure, was normal. My saturation levels, which is what your oxygen level is in your blood. Usually, like even a normal person, like anybody sitting here in Colorado, you won't get any higher than like a 98 unless you're breathing oxygen.
Yeah.
And
hyperventilating.
I was 95 without my oxygen that day.
Nice.
And yeah, so he was like, as far as I can tell, he said, if I didn't know that you had this diagnosis before, he said, and I'm very sure that you do, because looking right here, last July, you were in stage 4 heart failure. So it was like, it's amazing to me that you've come this far. And he asked me what I had done, and I told him, and he said, wow. He said, I support you 100%. He's like, keep doing whatever you're doing. He was like, it's great. And I ran out of there jumping and skipping like I just found a puppy or something crazy. It was the most crazy thing I had ever experienced, the feeling. It was just, because I had been 2 months, I had been living with the fact, okay, oh my God, over a year ago, I was given less than a year to live. What's going on? So it was very exciting for me.
It's good?
Yeah.
It's good. It's good that it's such a great medicine for you. The more and more we can get those stories out there, the better.
Well, I think it's cool, too, that coinciding with this article, everything's coming out about how much it helps people in their lungs.
Pictures of that guy's head with the cancer, the sarcoma on his head.
Yeah, I don't like looking at stuff like that.
But they've put the cannabis oil on, and it's like it's healed itself.
I get all teary-eyed.
Like it's like pushing the freaking tumor out of the guy's head. It's just, it's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't even.
You got to kind of wonder if one of the whole reasons, like besides the whole DuPont and nylon and the whole evil reasons that cannabis was made illegal in the first way. You got to wonder if somebody back then even knew that it was going to be good for cancer, and one of the best ways they could, control the population is through pharmaceuticals.
It's scary to think that. I hope that's not the case. I don't see me, dude. I'm kind of like the type of person that, with cancer and AIDS, man. Those two things kind of scare me the shizatsu out of me.
They should.
Specifically cancer. Cancer does a ton. My headaches and stuff, man. God dang. It's just, it's, see, even thinking about it, like it just.
You're like, I have a tuba.
It just completely, like, it makes my brain go blank. I'm like, oh. But no, I don't like, I don't know, man. I watched my uncle go from like being this just, I think we talked about it before when we explained your story, but watched my uncle go to nothing, and it really bothered me, and it really set it in as, look, this is this really pretty horrible disease that people can get, and man, it's hard for me to look at stuff like that like today. I have issues with certain things, and I can sit down and hold a person's hand or whatever, but like there are a few certain things that just like I don't want to sit down and even like look at or learn about. And that thing that you're talking about, the stuff that's come out recently with like cancers and stuff, I don't want to know. I think part of me doesn't want to know that we've fooled ourselves for this long, and we've farked around for this long and let this many people suffer because
of a plant,
because we're too stupid and ignorant on a plant. And then two, the other part of it is just like with writing Mark Emery in prison. Like after I went through my whole thing, it sort of becomes this like sort of jinx thing. You don't want to jinx yourself, and out of sight, out of mind. But that's not the way that things work. So you have to educate yourself to properly educate others. And then if it ever happens to you, you know, if you ever have a situation, forbid that you ever have to deal with, you know, cancer or anything like that, that you be fully educated in every option to be available to you.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I think ultimately what we'll find out is, you know, cannabis helps. You know, the big ones are going to be your cancer, your Parkinson, your Alzheimer's.
Oh,
I think in autism. I think those four, they're going to find
it's going to be so many
miracles.
Things.
You know,
and I honestly think so highly of it that they'll be almost everything. I want to say that.
That's why I'm trying to, you know, get out to people with this, is because people that have PH are so against, you know, any kind of, they think smoking. Well, you don't have to smoke. There's other ways you can do it.
Yeah, and there's a study came out last week that smoking cannabis has really absolutely no effect on your, no negative effect on your lungs.
That's why I think it's cool that it's kind of coming out at the same time. Cause see, haha.
We need to become smarter. We need to educate ourselves. Yeah, so it's
awesome.
It's good that we have people like yourselves to remind us. But I also don't say that in meaning that it's not good that you have the situation that you have. It's just with...
but things happen for a reason, and I was obviously put in this position for a reason, and haven't been blessed to come through it this far.
There's got to be a plan for everything. That's been my thinking for things.
There is a plan for everything.
That's what frustrates me lately.
We just don't know it.
Get out of my haze.
Predetermined destiny? Is that what I'm hearing? Oh.
Not necessarily predetermined destiny. I just think that there's everything kind of sort of
happens for a reason.
Happens for a reason. Yeah. In a way. Yeah. That's why I got to get out of this fuzz. It's ridiculous. There's no reason for it. Everybody's like, what? Shut up. No, I'm telling myself to shut up. Sorry, I didn't mean you. Shut up. All right, that's going to probably do it for a Seedy Wednesday today on the John Doe Radio Show. Got to go take care of some errands and stuff. I think this is one of the shorter shows that we've done. 12, 12, and 12.
12.
Bam.
Did you happen to check the Ganja Gala? Do we have an email question today for them?
No.
I didn't get an email, so just stay tuned for the next question.
Make sure you check out. Yeah, I don't even know if anybody's answered the first question. That's why I was like, anyway.
I would definitely check that out.
You would be the one that knows because you have access to that.
Yes, sir.
So you're saying kindly, probably nobody's answered it?
I am not willing to answer that right now. I'm saying I don't know. I haven't checked.
Oh, you haven't checked it. Okay. All right. That's cool. I want people to win free shiz, man. And it's like,
I do too.
The Ganja Gala tickets are just, I mean, you can Google the question.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't have it sitting in front of me. You'll have to go back to yesterday's show and listen to the end of yesterday's show.
Who was famous for alcohol prohibition?
No.
Who went down for alcohol prohibition? Yes, it is.
Go back and listen to yesterday's show.
That's yesterday. That was Friday's show. The question I was asking. Sorry.
Well, there was a question yesterday, too.
I know. I'm sorry.
You were farking everything up for me right now.
Sorry. There's two questions. Go listen to Friday's show and yesterday's show. You can have 2 chances to win.
Boom. Just like that.
Where was it? Oh, I was in the giveaway. All right, there. I'm trying to... I don't want to be rude and cut her off or cut anybody off ever, but like sometimes I'm so horribly forgetful, especially on days like today where there's just absolutely no sleep in the bag, that it's like I'm the only one in the world that should exist in my world. Like otherwise I'm gonna funk everything up, you know. Like I will, like, you know. I mean that in the kindest way, and I probably screwed up saying that in some weird, ridiculous, funky way. So. Anyway, shoot, I'm screwed up everything. All right, anyway, that's going to do it for today. Scott, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Tim.
It was a good, interesting talk, and thank you, Pam, for everything that you do for the community, for us here at the show also. And big thanks to Phil for filming the action.
Cameraman Supreme.
The cameraman. Can't forget about Phil. I hugely appreciate him. And thank you, Kim.
You're very welcome.
Thank you to every single one of our sponsors that takes care of us here at the John Doe Radio Show. Allows me to do what I do every day, and it allows me to bring this message to you guys. And so I don't have to go do that 9-to-5 job. I mean, if that's what I got to eventually end up doing, that's what I eventually end up doing. But I love doing this, love bringing the message to you guys. I think it brings a greater cause, and we're really trying to, really trying to make this into the business and make it work for itself. So I hope that you guys are enjoying the information and the expansion that we're getting, and then also some of the products and the people that we're bringing you, like Cut Above, CPM, Mad Hatter Smoke Shop, the Pink House people. Those are awesome dispensaries that cannabis centers that I would highly suggest everybody go to. The Pro Company, the Teapot, and the Cherry Company, all part of Pink House Blooms. Elliot, a great guy that I've got to sit down and talk with, one of the co-owners of Pink House. So make sure you check those guys out. Platte Valley today is Wax Wednesday. You have $15 grams for wax, so which is.
Yeah, man, I had some of Big D's Somali taxi ride wax.
She had some too, I think. Mm-hmm. Is that what you had, Kim?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we were talking about it. I haven't touched it. I don't want to touch it.
Stuff got hold. I mean, gets hold of your head, dude. I mean,
it gets
hold of
about those heart palpitations.
Yeah, like strong.
I haven't been afraid of trying anything ever, cannabis wise, ever. But my nerves here recently have been jacked. There's no lie about that.
Mark looked at me like 30 seconds after I blew the head out and was like, "You all right?" I was like, "It's coming on."
Yeah, dude, I don't want to give myself a panic attack or anything like that. So, and that's not playing into the fears of that. There's, I've become something I've never wanted to. And that's saying that marijuana could contribute to maybe. Just need to make sure that you understand your body and understand how things affect you, and then roll from there. Like heavy sativas, I try not to go with because sometimes they trigger my migraines. I know that. The Somali taxi ride.
I don't think it trigger a migraine. I think it trigger a freaking panic attack.
Right now, I know. Right now, I probably know not to try that. So, but I suggest people to go out and try these things though. If it's
might work.
It's not only just your work.
Only way you can find like what's going to be the most beneficial to you is to try a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then just the exoticness, if that's a word. Is that a word? Exoticness?
Yeah. Uniqueness, exoticness, yeah.
of it. Why not? Throw it in there.
JDR word.
Of what we got sitting here in front of us, of these strains and everything. It's so cool. Like, why not? At a certain point I was like, fuck that name. This is stupid. Like, because there was just so many people out there that would have a strain. It was like an OG Kush, but it was like the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Kush,
the Blue Ivy OG.
And you at a certain point, and I give you credit for sticking with the names and not getting frustrated and just throwing everything in the air and saying "fark it," because the names, everywhere you go, the names can be different, and it's like at a certain point in time, which has gotten better today. We're way better than we were a year ago, but at a certain point in time, it was like people were just making up names.
Yeah.
It was like,
they still are.
I'm sure they still are. It was like, let's put this in a cup, shake it up. Okay, there's one.
Yep.
Put a name in the cup, shake it up. Oh, we got a full name there.
I was talking about it when they were talking about the Blue Ivy. Jay-Z and Beyonce's baby, Blue Ivy. Blue Ivy. So there's Blue Ivy OG in a couple of LA shops.
Yeah,
I liked it right after Michael was killed. The Dr. Conrad Murray came out.
There's been the Obama
and the Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, there was the Obama Kush.
Those are just
which is some sort of presidential cross.
And those are just, sales techniques and stuff. But the important part in there is that patients need to know what these strain crosses are, so that if in the future,
if it works for them, you go find it.
It's fine if it's recreational, and it's one thing if you go buy the presidential Kush and it has nothing to do with anything.
But if you find something that works for your pain, sickness, whatever, you need to be able to have access to that.
Yeah,
and it sucks when somebody just whipped a name on some stuff. Yeah.
It does, and it sucks when there's people out there that aren't good enough to grow something and have it constantly be a certain
consistent
type of product, and that's another important thing that I'm sure the people here going to dispensaries or in California or wherever you're at where you have dispensaries, I'm sure that's something that you've noticed. There's certain people you can go to.
Above everything to me,
even underground.
When you become a good grower, like people are like, oh, so and so's a good grower. Like, to be a good grower consistency is the number one factor.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it shouldn't matter if it was summertime or wintertime or whatever. Your herb should look the same, taste the same all the time.
And when I lived up in Craig or whatever, it was like there was a few times. I mean, you'd know it came from a certain grower or whatever, and it was like year round a certain whatever. But then during the wintertime, there was like maybe this little different change and thing. Yep. I mean, I don't know. It's just interesting. Yep. I guess I pay attention to those certain details, and when I think of that, like. When I remember back to that, I think of like...
That's a discussion for another day, man.
It's just weird. It's like there's a certain amount of guilt I feel of like, maybe that little detail of like paying attention to that, these little details and like the differences in phenos or whatever. Maybe I could have like put that into like the job I was doing at the time, and then it would have been... Anyway, I give myself screwy up shiz like that. And the only reason why I say that is so that other people... I know there's other people that feel the same way that I do about stuff. It's like you have this love and this feel and this heart for the cannabis plant, but then society or whatever it is, makes you feel guilty for it or whatever reason. So anyway, I don't know. Shouldn't feel guilty for it.
Nope.
That's all I was going to do for today. Have yourself a fantastic day. If you would like to get the giveaway, Ganja Gala, the Token Tops, or Silver Surfer Vaporizer, put in the subject line what you're trying to win. And if you're trying to win the Ganja Gala tickets, please go back and listen to that question, answer it, and we'll take care of you. Really, when it comes down to it, hopefully we just don't have to give them away, but I don't want to waste them either. So check it out, JohnDoeRadio.com. For anything that you missed, that email for the giveaways is johndoeradiogiveaway@gmail.com. johndoeradiogiveaway@gmail.com. It's good times. Thank you guys for joining us. Tomorrow's Thursday, Business Thursday. Chloe should be with us. I haven't heard from her yet. Last week she was down giving a state of the cannabis type thing at the Capitol or whatever with some people. So the state legislature has started. So have yourselves a fantastic day, and until we meet again tomorrow, I hope I didn't miss anything. Nothing you can think of, Kim?
Nope.
Phil, nothing? Thank you, guys. Have yourselves a great day. See ya.
The John Doe Radio Show is produced by Charlie Entertainment. The John Doe Radio Show programming is not limited to, but includes information and humor on counterculture subjects that is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. We specifically include responsible marijuana reform. Besides, listening to anyone but your mothers is like stupid. We accept no responsibility for your actions or misrepresentations, and we do not fully endorse the use of illegal drugs. You are ultimately responsible for yourself.
John Doe Radio.
Radio.